Well, I've decided I definitely owe you guys a little something, something. I'm just now getting up, y'all. Yes, it's about noonish here. What's actually 1 p.m. But I got up around noon. I had a very productive day yesterday, last night. We ended up, doing a little bit of shopping for my meal preps and stuff. Got lost in like organizing everything, putting everything up. Well, not everything, but most of it up. And so here we are at 12, getting up. And so I did want to talk about something because, of course, this has been on my mind. And someone I know is dealing with something similar to this, and this is a part of the process, and so that's why I want to talk about this. Um, so basically, y'all, when you are going through a spiritual evolution, or you are evolving on a spiritual level. That's why I caught this video spiritual profoundments, because this is spiritual attachments, and this is spiritual detachments, and this is also shifting in what you used to do, shifting out of what you used to do. And so when you are evolving spiritually, you go through a lot of rebirths and deaths. And one of the things that actually help you grow quicker, and I would say more efficiently and become stronger, is the spiritual deaths. That means like, getting rid of or destroying your own, self ideas of who you are, going into possible things that you've done to make you feel not so bored. Um, and I do want to say this in many ways because, of course, a lot of people don't understand this concept. Finding entertainment through means of other people, meaning that your entertainment is watching celebrity gossip, you being around dramatic or messy people, you looking up soap operas, hell, you even getting put into like dramatic or, yeah, dramatic experiences. Finding your entertainment or your peace in that type of thing creates nothing but spiritual attachments, fake senses of self, fake identities, and like I said, this unfolds in many ways, in many areas. And so as you developed your own uniqueness, or for whatever reason you decide to, abstain from these things that were not really about, they were not healthy habits, they were not things that were actually elevating you, you start to feel empty. You start to have like a little mini episode of like depression, and even for some people it's extreme anxiety. They start feeling like they're losing control of their situations or even themselves. And so this is a common thing that people experience, like I said, when they're elevating spiritually. As they're becoming who they are, they start to shift their mind, right? Their comfortability start to shift. And this even goes into people who tend to not codependent, be codependent, but people who have to lean on to other people for their understanding. Something that I truly believe in is that in order for us, right, there's a big pie, right? And we are all contributing to that pie. Without us, that pie would not be possible, right? And that's how it is in this world. That's how it is in this life, right? We are living this life and we all add value to this life. The whole experience of this planet right now is contributed. You are one of the major contributions to what is going on this planet right now, right here in this moment. And so the idea that you need a partner, or you need a friend, or you need anybody outside of yourself to make you feel comfortable or to help you function in your higher self is completely absurd, as well as it is a false sense of self. And it's honestly the alter ego, right? And like I said, I won't go too deep into that. And so I've learned that people have to go through a rebirthing process in order to find who they are. And I'm going to call it the cocooning, um, or the cocoon effect. We're so social, right? We're so, as the caterpillar, we want to explore. We want to see things. We want to experience the new adrenaline rush. We want to experience what's trendy. We want to look up, the most popular music, the most popular people. Hell, we might be even subscribed to platforms that keep pushing what is popular. In order for us to really find who we are and to completely manifest at the highest level that we possibly can manifest at, is complete isolation, right? And when I say complete isolation, we're not saying don't answer people's phone calls, don't respond to people's text messages. We're not saying, lock your door, close your windows, close your blinds, and turn off everything and just sit by yourself forever, 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 or for an extended period of time. We're saying get used to your own odor. Get used to your own feelings. Get used to what your voice sound like in your head. Get used to feeling and hearing what your feelings are, what you want to do. A lot of us, we're taught to be so codependent. We're taught to be so paired up that we cannot function by ourselves. We go crazy when we come home to an empty house. We go crazy when all we have to cook for is ourselves. We go crazy when we want to go out, but we feel like we don't have nobody to go out with. In reality, if you cannot be your best company, in reality, if you cannot stand being by yourself, your partner, your friends cannot stand being around you. And that's a shocking truth. When people are in this space of needing external validation, when they're in a space of they're needing people to validate who they are, they have to be the best, they have to be quoted, they have to be complimented all the time. That comes from the lack of emptiness within. And of course, when this person is by themselves, it's not going to work out, right? They're going to become bored. And in reality, like I said, this is you not knowing who you are. Physical boredom, always wanting to be around other people because you don't like, the way you smell, you don't like the way you feel because there's no other reason outside of that. It's truly you having something going on within you that you're not wanting to even work on. So if you're somebody who found yourself having bad habits, let's say you were scrolling through TikToks and YouTubes and all these videos all day, every day, when you knew goddamn well you should have been budgeting your finances. When you should have been out here exercising and working out and finding out new ways to eat. But instead you're out hanging out with friends, getting drunk, partying. Or better yet, spending time with yourself, thinking of a plan that's going to help your future, thinking of a plan that's going to secure your future. Instead, you're out there hanging around Tom, Dick, and Harry. You're getting in everywhere you go. And there's something that I learned too, y'all, because I've said this before. I feel like I'm a very sexual being in a sense of. I feel like I'm a very sexual being in the sense of when I'm with someone I truly admire and care for, that baby, we could do everything under the moon, right? That's respectful, okay? But I still know there's a time and a space for all things. I also know that everybody is not privileged, and this is not anything to do with anything because I feel like you all should feel this way about yourself. Everyone is not privileged to have a piece of your pie. Everybody is not privileged to be in your space and share your same breathing room. Everybody's not privileged to even get your attention. And a lot of us, we have, in our, insecurity and or boredom, because we look for external entertainment, we have entertained people and we have allowed individuals, friends, romantic partners, suitors, admirers, into our personal space. And when they start to make us feel unworthy, I mean, the truth is, you've always felt that. You just thought somehow subconsciously that dealing with these people were going to make you not feel that, right? You thought that these people were actually boosting you up and make you feel like you're, the Don Dada. And I've been there, done that. I've had people who, always wanted to hang out. And at that time, I'm like, oh, this is so amazing. Like, they always want to hang out with me. I'm so amazed. And this is both friendship wise and romantically. But of course, when the opportunities happened, eventually they go ghost, or eventually we don't hang out as much, or mysteriously now they got so much to do. And once again, I call that, definitely, I mean, I would say that's the most prime example of energetic exchanges, right? They were once the desperate one. You were once the one that was, the worshipped one. And then it became the other way around where they're like, oh no, I thought I really wanted it, but I didn't want it. And then, of course, now you're being the obsessed one. But of course, this goes back into self identity. This goes back into self security. This goes back into how you feel about yourself and ultimately who you feel like is worthy of your time and space. I've shared this before with you all because, of course, this goes hand in hand. This topic was kind of came from someone, who, is, I know this individual, and I was like, I'm going to talk because I feel like a lot of people deal with these type of energetic experiences, especially when we're young, right? And as we get older, we are to mature. And as we are to mature, we start to sit back and assess. And that's what I tell y'all, I always look at my past experiences. Every person has the same experience over and over again until they learn that lesson. If you did not learn it with John, you're not going to learn it with Paul. If you did not learn it with Paul, you're not going to learn it with Steve. If you didn't know it with Steve, you're not going to learn it with David. And it's just going to be a trickling effect. It becomes a lesson versus a pattern when you assess the common denominator in all these experiences and say, what am I putting into this pot? What am I doing? What is my contribution to this energetic experience? And that's what it comes down to. I encourage you guys, and I have my, just so y'all know, so I just got up, sinuses is opening up. You guys know it's almost spring here. How you doing? I also have my diffuser on. It is lemongrass and it's cinnamon. It's blowing oil in my face, so it's opening up my sinus passages, and all my tea is just draining out, honey. I should have, waited about an hour or so to come out and do my thing, but I'm like, no, honey, we got things we got to do. And so, either way, when you're sitting in yourself and you're not knowing really which way to go, and or you're dealing, because of course we're going to play this in all scenarios, and that's why it appears that I'm talking about one thing and I'm talking about something else and we're talking about something else, because we're throwing all the options out there, right, of spiritual, what I say, profoundments, right, going even into people who somehow, some way have multiple sexual partners, right? Emotional connections is in fact the most damaging, in the sense of if you're connecting emotionally with people, whether it's man or woman, that are not worthy of your emotional connection, it will start to have you feeling some type of way, especially if they have somehow, some way tricked you. And I'm not gonna say it's a tricky situation because, of course, in the sense of you met them in a moment that you were in a certain space. As you start to evolve from that space, they also start to evolve from that space. I always tell people that everybody that we deal with is a reflection of ourselves. When you deal with family and friends on a personal level without any boundaries, or they choose not to respect those boundaries, at that point, disciplinary actions need to be taken. And what that means is that if this is a friend, a family member, somebody that you know for a very long time, and you verbally tell them, I don't want to deal with certain things, I don't want to speak about certain things, and they continue to do so, that's when you have to come out and you have to put your foot down and say, I've already said I didn't want to deal with this. And so for this matter, I'm going to keep my distance for a couple of days or a couple of weeks or whatever. or however that's going to work out for you. But actions have to take place, right? And even going into the sense of, like I was saying with this, and having multiple parties and multiple energies, right? Going back into that. When you're having multiple partners and multiple energies, or you're dealing with people when you're feeling alone, and I need someone to help boost me up and help me feel good about myself or help me feel better. Now you become emotionally attached to this individual, and energies are exchanged at an emotional level. And what tends to happen is, if you both are toxic at the time that you are exchanging these energies with each other, when one of you decide to level up or get up out of that or heal from whatever you're dealing from, the other one is going to be the one that's going to feel abandoned and neglected and disrespected. And even in the sense of you giving out your energies to other people, you have to be very mindful about who you're giving these energies to. Something that I learned as someone who used to see clients in person, um, as far as like the adult work go, there's times I would have experiences with people. And of course, I want to say this, I feel like we all are spiritually, those who have a spirit or soul, I feel like we all have the ability to be in tune with our spirit, right? And so somebody like me who have had these encounters, and I feel this stuff amplified, right? I think that people who are not aware of these energies feel this at a lower level. It's very subtle, but they still experience it. And it kind of packs on to where I would do like cleanses and detoxes every time I got involved with somebody, especially when I knew this wasn't going to be my man. Because I know that there's infatuation, which can lead to fondness, which can also lead into obsession. And so either way, I would have these encounters with these people, and I would feel like an intense joyous experience, like, oh my God, and just become delusional in a sense, y'all, too, in some of the experiences. And then in other experiences, I would be like, ooh, I don't like the way I feel. I would feel nasty. I feel horrible. And so having multiple partners, being in a space with multiple people on an intimate level, like we're cuddling watching movies. Everybody's not even entitled to that neither. But we were exchanging these energies, and it was really fucking me up. It was really fucking me up emotionally. It was fucking me up physically. Like I would feel physical unwellness. Like I would feel nauseous. I would have headaches. I'd be like, oh my God, I feel like I'm coming down with something, which I wasn't, right? But this was all energy. And so when you're dealing with multiple people, regardless of if it's for business, for pleasure, because we all, go out, and I do want to say that too, a difference between emotionally being involved with someone versus dealing with people is, we go into the stores and we say hi and bye. There's no tethering of energy there. There's no anchoring of energy there. But when we actually get involved with someone and we're actually talking, and now we get happy with them, we get sad with them, now we're tethered. Now we're building an emotional tethering or anchoring. And that right there is what's going to fuck us up. And so I say all this to say, right? Be very mindful about who you give your energy to. Be very mindful about who you share intimate times with, whether there's money attached to it or it's for free. Also, it takes 5 months for you to really know who people are. For those 5 months, you treat them like you treat everybody else. Honey, you're guilty until proven innocent. I need to see how you're going to be in 5 months. Now, of course, if it's a short term thing, and I really do think, like a lot of us, we don't really know what we want. So we attract mixed energies, mixed emotions, because we have that ourselves. So if it is something that you're not trying to invest in, then you need to also go into it as not really caring about a long term situation. If you are caring about a long term situation, there's protocols to it. Long term situations happen much slower than fast situations or quick flings. Okay? Always remember that. Long term experiences add up, right? You take your time to get there. It's not, 1 month you guys already went from first base to home run. You allow this stuff to build up. And of course, I feel like a lot of people don't understand the process of people, and that's important to research too. I feel like a lot of us, we've looked up, celebrities, we've done things, we looked up, things that were not really beneficial to us. It was just entertaining, not enlightening. And we said this before. I feel like there's two aspects to all things, and sometimes it can all be one and the same, right? You could experience both at the same time. But you're either going to be entertained or you're going to be enlightened, right? Sometimes you could be both, but it's one or the other. And when you are enlightened, you learn things about yourself that you never, ever, ever, ever possibly thought about or didn't know about. So be mindful about who you share these experiences with. And if it is a situation where you have to deal with multiple people to get whatever it is you're trying to get, do do isolation. I'm not gonna say rituals, but make it to where for one day you're binging with energies, and for the next 2 days you're not dealing with energies. Or even when you're done with each interaction, you do a cleanse, an energetic cleanse, right? And you can do that any which way you want to do that, right? I'm not gonna, get down and break that down. You could do that any which way you want to do that. But yes, honey, understanding, honey, that all of our experiences help to elevate us. Everything that you experience is not a setback. It's always about elevating of your soul, elevation of your soul. Even the bad experiences that you see or you think is bad, because of course in your inexperienceness, you're seeing it as a bad experience. But in the future, you're gonna look back and say, damn, I learned a lot about that situation. I learned a lot from that energy. I learned a lot from those people, right? Take on every experience as a learning experience. Take on every experience as a way of learning who you are and what you are. It's a very different experience when you're elevating because, like I said, you start to feel what they call, and this is a common thing, having a spiritual uh detachment, and also elevating, right? You feel empty, you start to feel bored. And of course, all this deals with your dopamines and neurotransmitters, and also, once again, feeding the ego, feeding the emptiness. Oh, I'm bored. Let me go look at a Melissa B, video or whatever. That's cute. But while you're looking at a B video, if you're having financial problems, maybe you should be also looking at videos on how to budget and invest your money. If you're while you're looking at a Melissa B video and you're having health problems, maybe you're gonna look up health videos, read health journals, health magazines. Like this is how we ultimately become grounded and secured in who we are. While you're looking up the fun stuff and celebrity gossip and celebrity drama, you're also looking up things you can do that's going to help you to secure who you are in the long run. Because of course, time is going, and eventually you're going to get bored with the fake shit if you are a real person. And now you're going to start feeling like, damn, I don't know why I feel so down all of a sudden. I don't know why I feel different. And of course, in some situations, people may feel that because somebody who they thought they were going to be with start ignoring them and stuff. And of course, I think that could be two things. Either you're codependent and or you're elevating. That means that you're starting to realize who you really are, and then really you're starting to detach from those emotions and those energies, and you're feeling different because being around that person, being around that energy, watching those things, it helped to keep you happy. It kept in a certain energy. And even for some people, a fantasy world. One thing about me, honey, I do not live in a fantasy world. I do not, at once upon a time, that was me, honey, living in a dream world, and everything is black and white and also the good shit. But now I realize that there's a whole other spectrum between black and white. And now I also understand that, I am contributing to these experiences. And so, I'm really asking when I'm dealing with people, why me? And of course, people say that too, like maybe that's you not feeling like you're worthy of anything. No, that's me staying grounded and keep my head out the fucking clouds. What would make me think that in the sense of dating that somebody will pick me over anybody else? Especially this somebody who I think is The Rock. Okay. When I say The Rock, like I feel like he's just up there. What will make him settle for little on me when you have all these options? And I think everyone in their right mind question that. I think that people who are disconnected with reality, they don't question that. I think that even husbands and wives would be like, why? What made him, want to date me out of everyone else? What made him want to wife me up? Or what made her want to make me her husband? Or what made them want to allow me to be the father of their child? I think that everyone in their right mind asks that. I think that people who are detached and in some type of delusion will be like, well, I'm the best husband that she will ever have, so she better be marrying me, or I'm the best price that he'll get, so he better marry me. I know I'm better than all those. No, you're really not, honey. There's someone out there that's always better than you. That's the sad reality of it, honey. So you have to be content with who you are and know that what you manifest is for you. Anyway, honey, that's pretty much it, honey. We tend to feel, like I say, empty. We tend to feel disconnected, or have this void feeling when there's a spiritual evolution taking place. When we start to detach ourselves from person, place, and things that are not beneficial to us, and or that's only going to get us by temporarily, we start to question certain things like, I don't feel good no more. And I always tell people, I think that that's a common thing, right? I was having this discussion with someone, and I'm just like, it's so crazy how we all go through the same experiences, just differently. And in the sense of that, I'm like, it's completely normal to feel, if you like somebody, for somebody to just stop fucking with you, to question that. Now, when it happens multiple times and you're still questioning in it, then it's something that you need to get together. If this is the first time you have it happen to you and you're questioning, okay. But if it's multiple times, then it's time to really sit back and assess, like, what am I doing that's attracting these experiences? But even going into the sense of you becoming who you are and you starting to research ways to better your life, you're going to start to notice that even your taste buds, your temperaments are going to be changing. And so, like I said, you elevate and you no longer want to do some things. And of course they want into this person, like there's a lot going on with a lot. Like they're changing their comfortability, they're changing, the way they used to talk, walk. They're changing what they used to be entertained by. And so in this experience, of course, people are gonna also change. Something that I learned, and I will finish it off with this, is that we're all a reflection of all of the experiences that we have in life. And all the experiences in life are a reflection of us. So that means that you speak out into the universe through your thoughts, your actions, and your words. And these things have to come back and speak back to you through the experiences that you have with other people and or the environment. And if you don't believe this, you can look this up. Very similar to what DNA and what RNA is. And so either way, we're so used of being in this space where we're understanding or we're not understanding, right? We're thinking that we're just living. And we listen to Aunt Patty's or we listen to Sister Mary Claire's story about her husband, and now we say that all men are bad. But we're not understanding that Sister Mary Claire or Auntie Patty probably has some type of disdain for men since they were a kid. Maybe their dad was not in their lives. So they had some type of projection about men being bad, or they had some type of experience that allowed them to think that men were bad or evil. And now they are just having these experiences keep happening because they're holding on to this thought or this feeling, right? We're not looking at it that as Sister Mary Claire, that's her story. We're not looking at it as that's Auntie Patty's story. We're looking at it as, well, if she had it, I would have to be getting it too. Or if she's experienced it, I would have to experience it too. And like I said, it's just a funny way. Two things that, and I'm going to be sharing some of this with y'all too, quantum physics and stuff. We've always talked about this on my channel, but I really feel like I want to really dive into this because this stuff happens rapidly and it happens quite frequently, right? In the sense of, your reality is nothing more than your thoughts and your feelings speaking back to you, right? And I think even going into the Bible and other religious texts where it says, do not live in fear or do not be afraid, because these things will create more fearful or frightening experiences. And I want y'all to understand too, it is not delusional to say, I want to live a peaceful, happy life. Because some people on the outside is going to say, well, life is not peaceful. Life is not always good. You're going to have your ups and downs of life. Oh, that's definitely fine. But the downs are really tough lessons to be learned. And the ups is comforting lessons to show me that what I've been through, more and better is coming. So the down experience is not, well, girl, regardless of what you're always going to have bad experiences. And for me to dwell in that, it's to let me say, regardless of what goes on, I'm always going to be good in the end. And so we have to understand that nobody, no person outside of ourselves has the control over our mental health, our physical health, our emotional health. We live in a society where they want you to play the victim, and that's actually like king right now, honey. I'm sick, but what are you eating? I had even someone tell me um, if they knew that Roundup chemicals was in granola and oatmeal, why would they feed this to people? And I'm like, you never looked up the FDA or the USDA protocols and rules? Do you know when you buy like canned goods and frozen fruits and stuff that they're able to pack that shit with rodent hair and stuff and dead flies and bugs and shit? Did you know that? Did you know that every so often, like they're able to allow, because they know that you cannot be perfect. This even goes into restaurants, y'all. Like, do you know that restaurants are supposed to like wash their hands every time they cook something? They're supposed to change their gloves out when they're cooking beef and pork. They're supposed to, wash their hands and change their gloves every so often. How many restaurants in this world do you think actually does that? How many restaurants you actually think that every time they touch chicken, they use one glove and then they switch that glove out, then they grab the pork and hell, even going into the grill. How many restaurants you think actually cleanses off the grill after they cook chicken when the restaurant is packed and you got pork, beef, and chicken all coming out? How many restaurants do you think actually do that? So it's really honestly about comfortability and convenience, right? And this, once again, going back into ourselves, we ultimately shape our experiences. A lot of us have allowed people to play in our faces too long. And a lot of us has allowed people to play in our face because we don't really know how to stop you from playing in our face. And of course, you meet people like me who will show you how to recognize somebody playing in your face. And then, of course, those people might look like, oh, this bitch is a hater, when I'm really not. Because, baby, if you got to pay taxes like I got to pay taxes, and you can also get cut and bleed out and die, girl, there's nothing that I would ever be jealous or hateful for. And I say that with right hand on the Holy Bible. Okay, there's not one human being that has to pay taxes and that will eventually leave this plane that I will be jealous or insecure to feel any type of way of, girl. Because the same experiences that you motherfucking have, I can motherfucking have, and vice versa. If you think you look better than me, I could pay to look better than me. Hello. If you got better credit than me, I could pay to get better credit than me. I mean, let's talk about it. And the end of it, when you're intelligent and you have power, girl, nothing gets you or nothing makes you feel any type of way. And that's true security. And that's true groundedness. So I want y'all to understand that who you are in the inside. Because fuck you being the nicest person in the room. Fuck you. Hi, how you doing? I'm very meek and mild to the room. In the inside, you're a raging war. And so all of your experiences are going to be a raging war, right? In the inside, you're feeling not too well. You're going to start to experience energies that are not too well. And y'all, we're getting into a shift right now where you're actually working at your highest energetic level. See, we have something called polarity. And of course, what they say, the upside down world. There's a lot of shit that's going on that is being flipped upside right. And so the things that you used to do, you can't do no more. The left is the right. The tall is the short. The fat is the skinny. And of course, the names are not changing, but the experiences are. And even going into people thinking they're having Mandela effects. This is a prime example of how energies are shifting, because the energies, the titles, or the embodiment of these energies are the same. They just feel different. So I want to leave y'all with that. Your inner thoughts. See, I want to leave y'all with that through scripture. Ow! I want to leave y'all through that with scripture, because what I want to get into first before I close up and close out is oh, come on in here. We want to get into we want to get into oh, girl, come on in here, because I want y'all to understand two things. Okay. How? I want y'all to understand two things. Oh, come on, come on. Let's do it. So, the name John is connected to the one, which is the number that comes after zero. And zero is completion, right? Zero is infinite, right? Zero is nothingness, right? And then one becomes erected from zero. John means God is gracious. Two things that I learned with energy or in the afterlife is that you have something called grace and you have karma. These two things work hand in hand, right? Grace is the clearing of karma. Grace is forgiveness. It's the ultimate, repentance. And I feel like the only one, or the only thing that can give us grace, is the Holy Spirit. I don't think that man could give anybody grace. I don't think that man could give another man grace, because you do not have the power over grace. And I even want to pull in, I even want to pull in John being God is gracious, and grace originating from the word gratia in Latin, which means favor, esteem, pleasing quality, or gratitude. The one that we ultimately pleases is the universal energies that govern us all, right? The only one that we could be in agreement to, the only ones that we could be a favor to or have favor from is the universal powers that govern us. And so, with that being said, in the Bible, because we're gonna keep this, because see, sometimes the messages come through, even if the messenger is not the one we want to hear it from. And that might be this experience right now, because people want to talk about King James, and King James, being a homosexual, and he was a cannibal, and he was racist and shit. Like, we don't really give a fuck about that, girl. You don't know King James, and King James don't know you. Who gives a fuck? Your mama's a cannibal too. Catch that tea if you caught it. And so either way, we're gonna open up the Bible to John 1:1. And if you don't understand, that's five ones. And five is the number that's in between 0 and 9. And it's also considered a freeing number. It's a liberating number. It's also the number of enlightenment. Okay. And so John 1 through 11 says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And so it's saying in this one is that thoughts was created in the powerhouse. And because the powerhouse housed this thought, the powerhouse is the thought is ultimately the powerhouse. And it also says that the person who thought it ultimately becomes what they think. And they said this even in science, y'all, coming up. If you're an atheist, they even said that coming up. You are what you think, you are what you believe. And so it says that the same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. That means that all things came from thoughts, because it says that the Word was with God and God was the Word. So the thought is what created something, and ultimately that thought became something bigger. And so it says that without the thought, nothing would be existing in this realm right now or in any of this. And in him was life, and the life was the light of man. Now, of course, they're using words like God and man, but I want you to understand that this is going into the physical body versus the spiritual body. This is going into the ones who are from the light or of the light, which means you have fire in you. You have a soul and a spirit. You have the ability to create, right? Procreation can be artificial, but creativity only comes from a soul, which is of light. Okay? And so, either way, and the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. So that means that the darkness had its own entity. The unknown had its own energy. The unknown was its own space. The before was its own identity, right? But the knowingness, okay, the knowingness could see into the unknowingness, but the unknowingness could not see into the knowingness. And I know that some people they don't understand that because, of course, their concept or their perception of who they are and what they are has not been taught. They have not fully tapped into who they really are. They're walking around as peasants and lesser than instead of knowing that they are greater than or equal to. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came for a witness to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. This is where your ideas start to spark something. This is where you start to know who you are and you start to become enlightened, that your thoughts become a part of who you are. Your negative thoughts start to become negative aspects of your body, which starts to shift into negative realities, negative experiences in life. Your positive thoughts become a positive part of your bodies and ultimately creates positive reactions. And once again, don't get it twisted that because you're positive that accidents does not happen. Don't get it twisted that because you're positive, you cannot slip and bust your head open. Because in that same reality, there's always something called duality. There's also something called the laws of consequences. There's also something called the law of polarity. So although everything is good, we got to still be aware of what could possibly happen. Can we talk about it? And so it says that he was not that light, but he was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world. So it is saying that you are not the knowledge, but you bear witness to the knowledge. And I could even say this into even spiritual things. When you are spiritually tapped in, or you feel like you're connected to the Most High and the Spirit of the Lord told me this and this and that, you still have a humbling experience where you knew that you're only the psychic, or you're only tapped in because the knowledge, you are bearing witness to the light. You are not that. You are not that light in that sense, but you are bearing witness to that. You are not the knowledge, but you have access to the knowledge. And in that experience, like I said, that's very humbling for me, because it's like you thought you knew, But now Spirit is like, this is even a more amazing thing for you to witness. And so, of course, I would say God shows up and shows out. But it says he was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. That means that the thoughts created the world, but the experiences did not understand, just like you don't understand that your thoughts create the world that you're in, but this world does not reciprocate back to you what you thought, right? Because you pushed it out, right? You thought about it, you possibly done some things, some actions, and you fed it, and now it's saying, bitch, fuck you. So it kind of what they say, what Banana said was bitter in the start, is sweeter in the end. Bitch, what's that song that she called? Oh my God, there's two songs coming to my mind right now where she's speaking about good experiences or giving people your all, and then you're left empty, right? They lifted you up just to push you down, right? And that's what happened, right? These experiences don't owe you anything, right? But you owe these experiences everything, right? And it starts with your mind, it starts with your feelings, it starts with your thoughts, it starts with what you do, your actions. Okay? And he came into his own, and his own received him not. So the bottom line of me going into all this is, like I was initially saying, is that your thoughts ultimately become words and actions, which ultimately start to shift your realities. And your thoughts by itself can also shift and make realities. We've seen stuff, y'all. I'm not going to say y'all have seen because maybe y'all haven't, but we've seen stuff. I've seen things that blew my mind. Like, even right now, I told y'all there's a lot of things that are happening in synchronicity to where I've been like taking screenshots of this. Like, I've been in the moment when this happened, and I've like taken out my picture, my camera, and I've taken a picture of it. And in other experiences, I was just in that moment because I'm like, this is for me. This is spirit talking to me about something, and I'm meant to, embellish in this energy right now. And so there's synchronicity that happens when you are aligned, when you are aware of your thoughts, when you are aware of your actions, when you understand that everything that you experience with people in places ultimately starts with self, things start to speak out to you. And it becomes loud, y'all. And when I tell you about synchronicity, it's been license plates, it's been people vocalizing things, it's been right there in the moment. I've seen things. I told y'all before, and maybe I didn't. And I'm really gonna be done because I really gotta um I gotta do some things for 6 o'clock. I literally went to this store, y'all. This is probably the most amazing thing that had me saying to myself, I know that I'm on the right path with how I've been maneuvering in 2026 with people. Okay. I'm in this grocery store, and like I said, this is one of many things. And I'm reading this paper bag, and I'm listening to my music, y'all. And I'm reading this paper bag, and I'm like, wait a minute. This store is also in Northern California, but why is it not on this bag? And so in this moment, y'all, I look up at this lady, and her name is Daisy, by the way. And I don't know if this even matters, but I have to call it out because her name is Daisy. And I found out in this moment her name is Daisy. But her name is Daisy. And I looked up at her, and I looked up at her. My phone immediately died. And it had died, and the music turned off. And I'm hearing her talking to this man. And so I take my headphones out to hear what they were talking about. And she's like, yeah, I guess they bought our name, but we're not the same store as those stores up there. And of course, I was like, wait a minute, what? What just happened? Being nosy. Because like I was just like, wait, what's going on? Because it's not like this is corresponding with what I was just thinking while I'm listening to my music, looking at this fucking bag, y'all. And I was not saying this aloud or anything. I was thinking this. And she's like, yeah, he was asking, was we connected to the stores in Northern California? And I said, oh my God. Like, y'all, I took my headphones completely off. And I said, oh my God, I swear to you, I was just thinking the same thing. And I said, oh my God, something in this moment is happening. And I was like, what is your name? She's like, I'm Daisy. And she said, what is my name? And I told her. And I was just like, that is just so weird. And she's like, yeah. And she was looking at me like, wait, what the fuck? This like, what does this mean? Like she was so oblivious to y'all what was going on. But in this moment, like even right now, I have chills because I was like, how was I thinking this? And in the same moment I'm thinking this man is vocalizing what I thought. And like I said, that's one experience that I had of synchronicity. Another experience that I had of synchronicity was, and I experienced this with somebody else, we were both talking about something and we both look out. And as soon as we talked about it, y'all, it came driving by. And of course, we just looked at each other like, what the fuck was that? Like, right, what the fuck was that? Because we just started saying that and it just happened. And so a lot of this has been happening, y'all, since the beginning of 2026. And for me, I know this is the universe speaking back out to me and saying that I am on the right path, that the way that I'm moving, the way I'm doing things, continue to do it. And of course, I start my day with humbling myself, and humbling myself is shutting the fuck up and being in a moment of silence and not checking out social media and not paying attention or wanting to look up people and all that. I just sit there and I humble myself and I allow energies to come through. And even right before I go to bed, I do the same thing. I quiet myself down. I allow myself to reground, reconnect. And there you go. Another thing that I do when I'm making decisions, nothing is pre-planned, everything is the day of. And of course people can get upset about this, but it is what it is, because of course I'm taking accountability and responsibility for my decisions in this moment, because every day is so different for me. Before I say I'm going to do something, I ask the universe, if this is meant for me to do, allow it to happen today. If it's not meant for me to do it, it will not happen today, and I respect that. And so in that moment, people that I deal with, they know that with me, I prioritize. And of course, certain things are not at the top of my priority. It is what it is. And honey, if something come up and I can't do it, I can't do it. And of course, it's not because I don't want to, but it's because, baby, other things has come up and I know what is good for me. And so I know, like I said, all these synchronicities are confirmation that I'm going about things the right way, versus saying, let me do it. And then I'm feeling overwhelmed because I feel like I have to do it. And that's also a form of people pleasing. And it is what it is. I don't owe anybody anything unless you paid for services and or I'm obligated to do something with you or for you. I don't have to do anything with you or for you. Okay. So that is what it is. It is what it is, honey. So I'm gonna go now. I don't know who, what, when, why, and how. Okay, come on in here, Heather to Sky. How you doing, Johnny? Hey, Johnny. May Bynum. Oh, what was that? What was what? What was what, Heather to Skies? Let me know. Does that work with jobs the same way? Longer positions take longer to manifest to get there? No, no, honey. Something that I learned about jobs, Heather. Um, because of course jobs is like a rites of passage. Something that I learned about manifesting work is you have to get knowledge of that work. See, in the physical realm, people have to go to school to get a degree or some type of certification to become like a manager. In certain schools or certain companies like McDonald's, they have their own school where they train you on how to become a manager or whatever, whatever. So that's the same thing with real life. If you want to become a janitor and you want to be the lead janitor, your job would be spiritually to manifest that position is to gain as much knowledge as you can about janitorial work. So that way you could be a lead janitor. And that goes with anything. So, in order for you to manifest a higher position, of course, you're going to do energetic work on it, but you're also going to sit down and learn about that position. You're going to learn the ins and the outs, because I do know that a lot of times we bite off more than we can bear. And I do feel like sometimes we see things for what it is and we want it. And sometimes the universe is like, you really don't want it. So you're going to gain knowledge in it to realize that this is really what you want. Is this really what you want? Do you really want to be the supervisor? I know a man right now who was a inventory specialist, became a head cashier, became a store ship supervisor, then became a customer's front end customer service manager, to being an assistant manager, to going back down to a head cashier. And they went back down to a head cashier because they realized that too much is given, much is required. So they did not realize that as the front end service manager, that you were going to have to run the whole front end of the store. That means you're going to have to deal with the office people, human resource. You're going to have to deal with the customer service, and you're going to have to also deal with the cashiers. And so, of course, you got more money, but now that means sleepless nights because, baby, now you're working your 8 hour shift, 9 hour shift, and then you're going home and you got your bosses texting you and say, hey, by the way, you forgot to blank, 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 blank. So you come in tomorrow, you need to blank, 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 blank. And then you also have other coworkers blowing you up, ignoring the fuck out of you. And you're like, I just want my alone time. But you're the boss. As the boss, you're gonna get blown up. So some people get infatuated with the idea that as a boss you get paid more, but there's still the chains of commands, and too much is given, much required. So now you got to take care of more shit, and it's not for everybody. And so, like I said, I know that man right now, like literally, and all this went down in less than 2 years. And he's like, I am so glad to be a head cashier again. He said, honey, I was making $32 an hour and I thought I was a shit. And he's like, I'm okay making back $19 an hour or $21 an hour. I'm okay with making that back again. There you go. And I'm like, a $10 an hour difference. I mean, that is some, but not really in California. $32 versus $21 an hour, unless you got dependents. Yeah, that's not really nothing. Yeah, unless you got dependents. If you're a single person and you're making $32 an hour, you're ultimately going to be making the same amount of money that a $21 an hour person is making in the state of California, babe. So at the end of the day, honey, you're taking on these responsibilities to make this company look good, not for yourself, babe. Okay? So it is what it is. So there you go, Jay. Yes, honey. Okay, so cleaning is must at this time. Meditation helps with that, right? Yes. Cleansing, yes. Meditation is helping with cleansing. Meditation helps to clear your mental thoughts. Energetic cleansing will help get your energy balanced. Also going into lifestyle changes. I've learned over the past year that food is information. And I shared this before that we know about DNA and RNA. We talked about this before. What is DNA and what is RNA? But also really taking heed to it. Like I said, about a year. So it's been probably around this time a year ago. And me deciding that beef, lamb, and goat does not have anything informational for me to receive. And that's why I said, I'll continue to say, I'm not going to protest anybody else who wants to eat that because maybe cow does have something for you to receive informationally. Maybe there is information that the lambs and the goats do have for you and the pigs do too. I don't know. But for me, there's nothing informational wise that a cow can give me to where I have to consume it. So, that's just, it is what it is, and yeah. And so there you go. Everything is informational, cleansing, detoxing, changing certain ways you eat. All this help too. A lot of people eat salad and shit because I'm fasting and praying because I want God to bring something to me. But God is in that food you're eating too. So even if you are fasting and praying, you know, you should still be being mindful about what you're consuming. You should still be mindful about what you're watching because your body also ingests through visuals. Your body also ingests through hearing. Your body also ingests through orally. So what you put in your mouth orally, your body is also ingesting that. And not all things that are ingested are digestible. Can we talk about it? And so I've learned that. It's not about thinking that you're the dom, dom, dada, or you're the boss bitch, or you're better than anybody else. It's about you knowing what is good for you and what ain't good for you. You know where you want to be, and you may not know how you're going to get there, but you know that everything is an add-in block to the bigger masterpiece. So right now I'm preparing myself for what is to come. Right now I'm allowing what I am consuming be an informational channel, to receive and to give for me to be good. Hello. Because it's not just about being good, because they say good, true health is wealth. Honey, hello? Hello? So we want to be rich in the spirit. We want to be rich financially. We got to be rich mentally. We want to be rich emotionally. We're looking for enrichment. We're tired of, quite frankly, dealing with the poverty mindset. We're tired, quite frankly, of dealing with the brokenness and a brokeredly. I almost said something else. I was, because people might take it the wrong way. Ow! It starts with an N and it ends with an R, but they add a DLY at the end of it. Ow! We're tired of dealing with that energy. So we're looking for fulfillment and enrichment. And those should be the two key words that everybody should be grasping on. Fulfillment and enrichment, or enriching their lives. See, there's no more, I gotta deal with her because that's my sister. No more, I have to deal with her because that's my mother. No more, well, we've been friends for a long time, so I gotta deal with this brokeredness. No, the fuck you don't. No, the fuck you don't. Respectfully. Honey, 8 billion. Have you ever thought about this? This is going to be a little deep. Have you ever thought about you sitting in your house right now out of the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of houses out there in the world? Have you ever thought about you sitting on your bed in your house and how there are experiences out there that you have yet to experience? You don't know what it's like to have dinner with one of the sheikhs in Dubai. You don't know what it's like to sit down and have dinner at the Buckingham Palace. Buckingham, it's Buckingham Palace. You don't know what it's like to touch a Louis Vuitton bag, a Versace bag. You don't know what it's like to eat at a restaurant that's exclusively available to members only, and you're paying $250 fucking dollars a plate. Like, these are experiences that a lot of us would like to experience. And if you don't want to experience that, but you want to watch Cardi B talk about her dying ass booty smelling, that go crazy to me. But the idea that we live in this world and there are experiences that we are yet to experience and we're only one thought away from that is so mind-blowing to me. And everybody that you are around is either helping you to get there or they're taking away from you to get there. Trust me when I tell you that. Everybody around you is either an access, meaning they're making it accessible to you, or they're obstacle, which means they're hindering you from that. And so when you sit back and you think about that, y'all, that changes your life. That shifts your life into a whole nother direction where you're like, is my best friend helping me get to my goals and my dreams and my desire? Is my sister, is my mama, is my, because that's what it comes down to, babe. That's what it comes down to. Are you working to work? Or are you working to have a better life? You know, there are economical proof jobs out there. You know, there are jobs out there. You hear people say AI is taking our jobs from us. No, there's jobs out there that are actually in need, that are in demand, that AI could never take over, by the way. And if they do, it's going to be another 100 and something plus years from here. Hello? You're not wanting to educate yourself on these experiences. And so, and that even goes into like food and shit too, y'all. During the pandemic, Oh, girl, there's a shortage in food. Oh, girl, ain't no more ham, no more turkey. Bitch, you shouldn't be eating ham and turkey all the fucking time anyway. You should only be having maybe 2 to 3 servings a week of meat, honey. You shouldn't be having a ounce of meat every day, babe. That's a carcinogen. But guess what was packed up on the shelves? Guess what was not touched? Oh, come on, I need to stand up for this. Guess what was not touched on these shelves and these freezers? You ready for this? The whole grain food, the rice and the beans, the frozen fruits and the frozen vegetables, the good cereal, the Wheaties, the grape nuts, the amaranth, the cafone. Can we talk about it? Hello? These things were not touched, but the chips were gone. The cookies were gone. The ho-hos were gone. The fattening was gone. The lard was gone. The ham, the chicken, the hot dogs, the pop pockets were gone. And everybody crying, we don't got no food. There's a shortage of food. No, it's not, babe. They had a lot of frozen fruits and vegetables available, and I took advantage of that. Hello? They had a lot of good canned goods and canned beans and stuff. So it's really about your perception and what you see things as. For me, like I said, baby, I want it all. I know I deserve good. I deserve the good life. I deserve the peaceful life. I deserve to be good. I deserve to wake up happy. I deserve to go to bed happy. So I want you to understand that enrichment, ENRICHMENT, and fulfillment, FULFILLEMENT, is the two things that we should be meditating on. And watch how things shift out of your life. Like I said, we don't just work to work. Oh, I'm working and I'm not able to save. Well, maybe that means that you need a career change. Maybe that means you need to go back to school and learn something so you can get a better paying job. Honey, oh, how are we going to survive working at McDonald's? McDonald's eat their piece of their pay. No, the fuck they don't. I mean, no tea, no shade. Girl, go back to school and get an actual education, bitch, so you can get a job outside of McDonald's. Because in all reality, only people that should be working at McDonald's are kids anyway. I don't see no fucking grown ass person in their right mind working at a fucking McDonald's. And girl, okay, this is be cracking me up, girl. Listen, if you're in college, I can also see you working at McDonald's. But girl, McDonald's, Taco Bell, Burger King, KFC, these are for kids, babe. The only ones that should be having adult positions should be potentially the managers in them. And even then, they should age the fuck out. Because I don't know if I want my 15 or 16-year-old around a 50 or 60-year-old. Hello? Or even a 40-year-old for that matter, all day, every day. So I'm like, at the end of the day, girl, y'all should be doing bigger and better things anyway. Y'all out here trying to protest McDonald's and shit, raise minimum wage. No, bitch, get a career. Go to school and become knowledgeable, girl. They got classes shit you can take online to own your own fucking business or work for a company and you become an asset to that. Grow the fuck up, honey. Change the way you think. Not grow your fuck up and like, girl, you're too much of a kid, but change your thought process. Right? Don't worry about how you're going to get there. Set the foundation for how you're going to get there. Don't say, hey, I want to be rich, but I don't know how I'm going to get rich. Because, baby, even social media, people trying to get rich off social media is played out. There's a lot of social media content creators that have filed bankruptcy that's going to be filing bankruptcy. Just as quickly as they became rich, it's just as quickly as they going broke. Being a content creator to get 1 million followers and all that stuff to get your check, baby, that is not the business, honey. I had somebody telling me the other day, yeah, content creator is gonna be the new wave, so I'm preparing myself and I'm be rich off of this. Motherfucker, if you don't take your ass back to school and learn how to become something bigger and better, maybe even learn finances and become a brokerage or some sort, girl, get the hell out of my face. You are literally able to go out and work. And there's people that wish they can work. You know how many mothers and even fathers for that matter that wish they could have worked a job to take care of their family, but they have to sit up in their house and collect Social Security all day because of an injury? And you know how depressed they were sitting in that house or in that room or in that bed, unable to provide the way they wanted to provide. And now you got people that are younger, between the ages of 18 and 45, that say, no, I don't care to become knowledgeable on things. I'm going to get on the internet and I'm going to become rich off the internet. That's okay. But bitch, get a real career as a backup so you don't have to be on here panhandling for people to support you. Go on and send that cash app. I got the cash app, girl. You better work for this money. You better work for this fucking money, honey. Hey y'all, I'm looking for donations today. No, no, bitch. Are you booking readings today? There was a girl. There was a reader on here not too long ago, and I just said, girl, scam, 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 scam. But mama used to sit and talk about how she was booked out until August of next year. And girl, this was like 2021, 2022. And I'm booked out until August of next year. But every time you turn around, she was asking for cash apps. Like, wait a minute, ma'am. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Ma'am, in the sense of you may identify as a woman, but you got very masculine, toxic masculinity characteristics. If your readings are booked out until August of next year, why do you need donations now? Where did that money go of all the people that already booked for August of next year? I'm confused. Or if they have the money and they're waiting to pay you for the money, why not get all these readings booked out? Why not say, hey, you guys, I'm gonna be off for a week because I'm gonna be dealing with my readings and stuff that were booked up until August. But it was like every time I turn around, they were asking for donations, and every time I turn around, they were doing like free readings on the chat. Like, if y'all send $3, I'll give y'all a reading. Like, girl, the fuck? I'd be damned if I had to book a reading until next August and you're here begging other people to jump in front of the line. Why not give me my reading that I'm booked until August for? Can we talk about it? Why not give me my reading now? But that's that brokenness mindset. That's that impoverished mindset. And they're going to be 50 years old still trying to panhandle. They're going to be 40 years old still trying to panhandle. The handle. They're not going to have nothing else going on within their lives because they are in a broken space. And that's really the fucked up thing about it, the most fucked thing about it. And they'll come and act like they're leaders and I'm tapping in. So why has the spirit told you, do you get a job yet? If you are meant to become success or financially stable through offering spiritual services, why have spirit not told you what you need to do to maintain that and keep that? Can we talk about it? If this is really who and what you are, why has spirit not gave you the right protocol to keep it flowing to where I got to put my business on hold? Y'all, I'm currently not doing business right now because my company is about to file bankruptcy. Then, bitch, we need you to get the fuck off the YouTube then. We need you to go ahead and take the Cash App down. Hello? We need you to go ahead and get your shit together, ma'am, sir. Okay? So that's what it comes down to. People just want their sugar and GMO. You said it. People just want their sugar and GMO. You said it, honey. Yeah, you said it. People are addicted, and that's okay. I was talking about it with a sister, Jay. Every time you turned around, and I don't know if they really just are in their own little world, or they're just, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't know what's going on. But they were saying something along the lines of, God is changing me, and the Spirit is working in me. But they still drink. And of course, it's not a dig at anybody. I love my people, love my sisters and brothers. You know what I mean? It's not a dig. I gotta tell it how it is because, like I told people, y'all know me, honey. Anybody who knows me, I loved beef. I loved beef. Beef was my comforting food. I loved beef. When I tell you beef, everything, carne asada, everything was beef. Ribeye, New York strip steak. Baby, I loved beef. Beef tallow. I loved it. And I went completely cold turkey 2 months ago. And I'm saying all this to say, when God really shows up and shows out in your life, you don't hold on to habits that does not serve you. Regardless of the fact that alcohol is not work or alcohol is this and that, How I'm going to know that God is truly changing you and God has truly touched you, you're going to not no longer crave the alcohol. Because that would be the first prayer that I would have. And of course, I didn't pray for God to remove the flavor of beef out of my mouth. I said, God, I want to be elevated. I said, God, I want to take myself to the next level spiritually. I want to align my spiritual body with my spiritual purpose. I feel stagnant. I feel like something or someone is blocking and stopping me. And literally, slowly but surely, certain things I used to do, I stopped doing. Slowly but surely, certain things I craved, I stopped craving. Y'all, another thing I was addicted to was this little white square cake that I used to get from the grocery stores. I used to get this white cake that had this white icing. It was buttercream icing out. It was so good. I used to get this every Friday. They went from every Friday to every 2 or 3 days. It was one square of cake. I have not had this cake, y'all, since the first week of January. And I'm not even thinking about it. But looking back, I'm like, damn, I've not had this cake in girl, 3 months. 3 months. And the last time I had it, my taste buds was different. I was like, ooh, this cake don't taste all that no more. It tastes a little funny. But that's how you know that the Holy Spirit is working. Messing with the bullshit, talk about God is using you and changing you, but yet you still smoking nicotine or you still drinking. The fuck out of here, girl. God ain't using you and changing you, girl. Stop with the bullshit, girl. Stop saying God has changed you, because that's not true. That'll be the first thing that has to go if God is truly working in you. God would not care if, girl, it doesn't matter if you were out here working and detoxing all day, every day. Alcohol fucks up your organs. Alcohol fucks up your organ. They want you to completely get rid of alcohol, or they said little servings a week. So that's 5 ounces, 2 to 3 times a week. Girl, if anything, but you gonna sit here and tell me that God is working through you? I think that's blasphemous. And in my honest opinion, I think it's very much you mocking and making fun of the Holy Spirit, saying that God is working through you and also the good shit, but you're still getting drunk, or you're still drinking alcohol, or yet you still consuming tobacco and even doing other shit, popping pills, all that good stuff. God is not showing you lifestyle changes to help get rid of that, because the same enjoyment that you're getting from that alcohol, you be getting from other things that are probably more beneficial to you. So God is not going to be like, oh yeah, you go ahead and drink that alcohol and worry about it. And then some people say, well, Jesus Christ drunk wine too. Could you imagine what wine was like 2,000 years ago versus in 2026? Could you imagine that? It's not the same, babe. And then on top of that, and I do feel this, I do feel like a lot of people use things like tobacco and alcohol as a person. They feel like that's the only thing that does not judge them. They feel like that's the only thing that gives them unconditional love. They feel like that's the only thing that makes them feel complete. And that's really why they drink it. I've had some people say, no, I smoke cigarettes because I like the way it tastes. I have some people that say, no, I smoke alcohol because I like the way it tastes. Girl, you must have some fucked up ass taste buds, because no alcohol tastes good to me. And if you like the little sizzly bubbly thing, girl, get you some sparkling water. They have a virgin drink, an alcoholic drink that I love. And honey, it tasted just like the real fucking alcohol beverage. And girl, they use lime juice and sparkling water. So that's when I'm going to know, going back into that God is really working in you. Fuck that you got your sleeping habit together. You should have been done had that. Fuck that you got your diet together. You should have been done had that. But how I'm going to really know that God is using you? And you're like, day 90, no wine. Day 90, no cigarettes. That's how I'm going to know God is using you. Until that point, girl, stop using God's name in fucking vain. Until that point, stop using God's name in vain. Ooh, that shit irritates me, girl. Ooh, girl, they work my nerves. Not even saying that. God is working through me. Well, what's taking so long for the shit that's fucking you up? Because a lot of you, and that's something too, especially you got any type of sickness right? And once again, I'm not reading people, I'm just putting it out there. Knowledge is power. Especially you got any type of sickness. There's no way that I'm going to be on medicine for anything and I'm going to be eating fried foods, nicotine, and alcohol. Hello? There's no way I'm going to have any type of disease to where I have to take medicine and I'm going to be consuming tobacco, alcohol, or fried, greasy, sugar high foods. Because these things is what fucks up our body. It stops our organs from working the way they should work. So it's like, girl, when you're able and you're asking God to heal your body, and God is showing you that your healing starts with getting rid of that wine, or God show you that your healing start with getting rid of those cigarettes, then I'm going to believe that God is really using you. Until then, I'm really thinking that you're working with the devil. Until then, I'm really thinking that the devil has you tied up and looped up around him, because that's an addiction. That's a demonic possession. People say that demon possession is real. It is real when people cannot let go of the liquor. It is real when people cannot let go of the tobacco. It is real when people cannot let go of the poom poom or the ding, honey. Yes, when people feel like they need dick, that is a demonic possession. People like they need poom poom, that is a demonic possession. People feel like they need alcohol and liquor when they're stressed out, that is a demonic possession. And I don't care what nobody say. It is. It is, honey. Because that money you could be using for something else. And I tell you, I used to listen to that too. People like, oh my God, I don't want to pay $12 for a pack of eggs. Well, first of all, I love eggs. Well, I loved it more than I like it now. But I used to love eggs. Girl, I don't care if eggs was $7 a pack. If I love it, I'm going to have it, because that's a luxury, right? To have what you love. But it'd be the same ones that be saying that would pay like $12 for a pack of cigarettes. And it's like, wait, can I understand this? And even if it was $6 for a pack of cigarettes, the fact that you're paying $6 to get yourself cancer, to get yourself sick, but you're not willing to pay $6 to feed yourself food that's going to heal your body or be of nourishment to you, tells me a lot about your mentality. The fact that, ooh, honey, it's getting a little expensive for a bottle of wine. Well, maybe you shouldn't be drinking it then, babe. If you, oh, I'm about to go look for the cheapest place I sell my wine because I'm going to be paying $13 a box. Maybe that's time. Maybe it's time for you to give it up, honey. And that's what anything, girl. If I was eating out of place, and that's another thing too. Well, I'm not getting into that. But if I was eating out of place and I did not like their serving sizes for their price, because there are places that I was eating at, I did not like the way they were serving their food and stuff. I feel like I'm paying $16 for a kid's meal. I stopped eating there. Girl, I wish I would say, well, I really like this. Let me go look for a cheaper place. No, no, baby. That's it. That's a wrap for me. That might be God telling me it's time to quit it. And I feel like the signs be there, but people just don't be paying attention. The signs be there to quit your stupid ass addictions, and you don't want to. You want to hold on to it, but you're going to talk about God is using me. No, he's not. Girl, you're lying. You're lying, honey. God is not using you. When you stop drinking and smoking, I'm going to know God is really using you. Yes. Respectfully. Hello. Hello. And there's even some people too, girl, as a jokingly will say, ooh, girl, I'm staying away from my addiction. My favorite addiction is strawberry ice cream. But they'll cut that addiction out before they cut off their liquor. Like I'm thinking to myself, like, that just doesn't make sense to me though. If I'm really trying to have a lifestyle change, I'm gonna go for the most damaging product to be removed versus ice cream. Ice cream is actually good for you. That's probiotics. That's vitamin D. Ice cream is actually pretty good for you. So that whole I'm about to cut my favorite vanilla ice cream with strawberry toppings out, or I haven't had my favorite candy bar in 3 months. But when was the last time you had a glass of wine? 2 days ago. Girl, bye. Get the fuck out my face. Get the fuck out my face. Ah! Get the fuck out my face, man. For real, for real, for real. Get the fuck out my face, man. Listen, y'all. Let me go. Hey, Grand Madam, how you doing? Yes, and hey, John Madam. Fasting is actually more eye-opening when you end up cold turkey and barely notice it. You said it. And another thing too, that's how we said. I feel like people. How would I say this? I feel like people are so detached from reality, which in reality is their real self, their authentic self, that they will become delusional about everything that they should really be quite aware of. And I'm going into the fact is that once again, I didn't say that beef is not good for me. So I think I'm gonna stop doing beef and then I'm gonna have one more nacho. I'm gonna celebrate beef tonight. Let me go get one more nacho. Y'all, I had 2 pounds. I want y'all to realize something right now. And it's not that it matters, but I just want to point this out. Ground beef right now in California for sure, for a pound and a half, you're paying almost $32. At least the stores that in my area. You're paying $32 to $38 for a pound and a half of ground beef. And that's 80% fat or 80% lean, 20% fat. I want y'all to understand that. When I decided to no longer eat beef, I had almost 3 pounds of beef within my refrigerator that I threw out. 3 pounds that I threw out. I actually gave my dogs a little bit of that. I said, let me give them a little bit because I don't want to waste food. I gave them a little bit, and the rest of it, I threw that shit out. I'm saying all this to say is that when you ask God as a spiritual person, because people say God told me, God shared with me, and that'd be another thing for me too, where I'd be like, girl, I don't even like really hearing people's God stories. I feel like people just be making a mockery of the Holy Spirit, and it just doesn't make sense to me. So you have the ability to read and understand a deceased loved one. You have the ability to read other people's energy. There's a sign that one of your friends is going through something. But God has not yet given you the sign that you need to cut out sugar, you need to cut out fatty foods, or you need to cut out whatever the case you need to cut out. There's no sign of that. Like people would literally sit here and be like, yeah, God showed me a sign or something told me, hey, you need to go check your trunk. And when I checked my trunk, I found money I've been looking for 2 years, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, did something tell you that? Or was it you coming to your senses because you've been so stressed out and you just kind of forgot it? Because that's what that be, though. That don't be the Holy Spirit. That don't be God telling you or spirits telling you. That really be you coming to your senses like, oh my God, this is where my money is at. But either way, the Holy Spirit is telling you to abstain from shit that's really not that important. But the shit that is the most important, you still have a taste for. And even if that is the case, because I'm not judging, maybe ask God to take that away from you. Say, God, I smoke 3 packs of cigarettes a day and it's not really healthy for me. Help me break this addiction. God, I drink wine and it's financially, it's getting expensive. But on top of that, I really don't want to have to consume this because it's not being beneficial to me. God, remove this taste. Like this should be, well, I'm not gonna say this should be because people do what they want. Because like I said, I'm not telling people how to live their life. I just mind my business and I say that respectfully. Honey, you wanna, smoke and drink it out, that's your business. I'm not doing that. It is what it is. Okay. But people, I feel like, once again, mock the Holy Spirit. I feel like people mock spirits. I think that people will lie and say they're connected to deities, and I really don't feel like they're good. I feel like they're demonic, and yet these demons or these demonic or these energies are not uplifting them or elevating them. Like, how the fuck you working with these spirits for so long, but you're still addicted? You're still addicted. You're still addicted, man. You're still addicted, hon. How are you playing with spirits and saying you are dominating these spirits, but you're still addicted? Because it is spirits that are having you addicted to these things. It is you're battling a spiritual warfare. And right now you're currently losing. And we know that the Most High and the Holy Spirit always wins. So when you're sitting here battling with this and you're saying, but I can do it only once or twice a week. Like, wait, what's really going on here? And something that happened, y'all, and of course, just a little sideline, something happened with someone that I know because I think that mental programming is real. I think that also, this could also be spiritual tea. And I'm going to say this, I'm really going to go. So I know someone who likes doing something, right? They love doing something. They used to do this religiously every day. And then they got someone that they know onto that, right? And let's say they went to a good restaurant. Like this restaurant served the best food ever. It was very clean, it made you feel good. And so they started getting their friend to go. Now, this restaurant was offering rewards and stuff like for every 5 visits, you get a free plate of something. So I guess that this friend started going as well because he wanted to have the benefits of what this person was getting. And so when the owners of the restaurant started nominating this guy, like being the number one customer or the top customer, the friend, because they're competitive and or they have some type of spiritual monitoring spirit or something. I don't know. I mean, we could tap in, but I'm just putting out there in layman's terms. Something going on. They start making it a thing to where they start going every day now. So now it was like a competition between him and his friend about who subconsciously who could be the best customer. So then this friend started getting recognition and it started stroking his ego to where now sometimes he was going even when he didn't feel like going. And then one day he said that this friend was telling him how he was going to stop going because he realized that the money, it was hitting his pockets. And then he was also complaining how one of the managers was rude and stuff. Okay, so then he told his friend like, okay, well I'm gonna stop going too because I feel like whatever. But then mysteriously, this friend kept going, and then his friend started making a conscious decision, like I'm just gonna go once a week. And it's like, but wait a minute, I thought you said that you weren't gonna go no more because they were making your money funny. I thought you said you weren't going no more because they were overpriced. I thought you said you weren't going no more. And that's what it came down to. And so I was telling him that I believe that this is like either spiritual or this is a friend that's competing and subconsciously the friend is saying I have to be number one, I have to be the number one supporting, I have to be the major supporting, but not knowing this friend said that this guy said he's been going to this restaurant for 7+ years. This other friend has barely been going for the past 2 to 3 years. So it's like, well, even if they decide to go every day, in order for them to surpass his support, they would have to go every day for probably the next 10 years while this friend don't go for the next 4 or 5 years for them to even get caught up. So it's just like one example of, like I was saying, going into, I feel like spiritual influences and maybe even like underlying competition amongst people. Like I really think it's spiritual tease up with that though, honestly. And once again, people saying God, 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 God. But it's like, why is God not helping you with your decisions? If you're so tapped into the Holy Spirit and you pray and meditate a lot, then where is this showing up in your decision making? Because when you're tapped into spirit, and if you're able to see spirit in the sense of, things are showing up, or, oh, hey, something told me to go here. And when I went there, I found blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So if spirit is showing up that way, spirit should also be showing up in the way of, hey, you need to stop eating, or you need to stop smoking, you need to stop drinking these foods. But like I said, we hear people every day, talk about praying for me, and they in the ICU and they fucking 375 pounds. And it's like, wait a minute. Are you 370? I mean, girl, it's not my business why you 375, but it's like, do you possibly think it's because you're already on medication and instead of you eating a well-balanced, clean diet, you're eating more fattening, high-sugared food that's causing glycation? If you don't know what glycation is, definitely do your research on glycation. And so your body is starting to cook and your organs are shutting down. And is this what's possibly going on? Because if it's an accidental thing, I'm definitely down to join in. But girl, I'm not wasting my prayers on you if you just gonna get out and do the same bullshit. I had an auntie, rest in peace, that had congestive heart failure. They put her on a good diet. She got on a diet of eating healthy. And then towards the end, she said, fuck that healthy diet. And before you know it, she needed a heart transplant and she ended up dying. Rest in peace. But on the flip side, I'm like, damn, girl, when she was in the hospital the first time, she was like, y'all pray for me. What are we praying for? Knowledge? Are we praying that God touch you to give you the wisdom for you to change your life? Like, what are we praying for? Because it will suck to say that we sent a prayer up for you and you doing the same stupid ass shit. And that's how I feel with anything. People that are addicted to alcohol, and because it is an addiction, and even smoking, because that's the only reason why you would do it. There's no other reason around that. Bitch, I come from a family that's very addicted to alcohol. I come from a family that are, if I'll be willing to say that are alcoholics. They got to have alcohol at every event, including a child's party. And I've tried alcohol. I don't have to have it. I don't drink it. And even at one point in time, people used to try to bully me for it and say, you need to drink more. The fuck? No, I don't. I don't need that shit. The same money I'm using to buy the alcohol, I could pay off some credit cards. The same money I'm using, the same time I'm using to get drunk, I actually use that time to heal myself. So it's okay to be addicted. It's okay to have, wrestling in the spirit. But once again, that's how I'm going to know that you're conquering. That's how I'm gonna know that God is truly working on you. Not that you go to bed now at 9 o'clock instead of 12 o'clock. Because that's just called being responsible. Not that you're now starting to eat healthier, even though, of course, if there's an addiction, I definitely think that should be applauded. But that's still you making conscious decision to do better. The real thing is you did something for so long and the spirit took that away from you. I would say you're conquering your demons. Okay. So that's it, honey. Fasting, yes, honey. Listen, I'm gonna go. Hey, 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 I'm gonna go. Hey, 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 hey. Y'all know when I get off this phone, I'm gonna get like 2 or 3 phone calls, right? Cause they gonna be like, "Were you talking about me in that video?" I knew you were talking about me. I mean, I was talking about some things that pertain to you, but yes, I was. And what you gonna do? You gonna whoop my ass? That's everything too. People trying to check you. Are you gonna whoop my ass? Cause bitch, I would love to see you try. What you gonna do? Let me have it, honey? What you gonna do? Huh? What you gonna do, baby? What you gonna do, baby? You gonna block me? Block me, bitch. What did Nikki? What did Tiffany say? Slap me, bitch. Yeah, block me, girl. I don't care about that. I'll give my people an example of what was going on, and it is what it is, girl. When God shows up and show out, I will be there to testify. Hello. I can't testify on you still doing shit that's fucking you up, but yet everything else is changing. No, girl, you don't want to let go of the most damaging thing, but you want to change everything. Could y'all imagine that? Could y'all imagine that, girl? The doctor's telling me it's your red meat. And I'm like, well, listen, I also eat cake and ice cream and cookies and shit. Let me get rid of the cake and ice cream because I'm still going to eat my red meat. And Doc's like, no, but the red meat is killing you. And I'm like, yeah, but it's okay. I can still hold on and protect it. Girl, that's what that be giving. Baby, I know I'm sick. I know I need to change my diet and what I'm doing, but I'm going to hold on to the most damaging thing. And like I said, y'all do your own research, honey. Y'all do y'all research on things, honey. Don't take my word for it, honey. I've been told certain people that certain wine and stuff has more chemicals in it. And they were like, I'm still gonna drink it. Like, okay, girl, well that's not my business then. That's your choice. You wanna drink pesticide infested wine and you wonder why you're getting dizzy spells and you're getting nauseous and you're getting this and you're getting that. Girl, that is not my business. When you say that's going on, I'm just gonna say, okay, keep it pushing, girl. It might be that Roundup that got you feeling that way, sis. It might be that red color 40 that got you feeling like that, sis. It might be that that ethyl alcohol that got you like that, sis. No shade. It might be that decon that's in those cigarettes that got you feeling like that. I am out of that, honey. That is not my business, honey. No shade. That was not my business, girl. It might be that disodium phosphate. Is that what they call it? Is that what it's called? Or glycinate phosphate? That's probably what that is, honey. I don't know why I got diarrhea. Listen, I'm not in that, babe. I don't know why my allergies was cutting up really bad today. I couldn't even take no pill because the pill wasn't working. Listen, I'm not in on that, girl. You drinking chemicals and you eating chemicals, honey. Listen, I'm out of that, babe. When you know better, you do better. When you step into the spirit of evolution or the spirit of the spirit of higher power, then bitch, you start to see some changes. Anyway, honey, let me go. Doesn't it matter? Doesn't matter if it's cheaper wine, be more expensive wine. No, no, honey. It does not matter. They have done studies, and I always tell people this. I think knowledge is power, and I think what will separate you from um, having a demonic possession versus not being demonically possessed would be when you're under demonic possession, you're under some type of mind control, and you're not even wanting to do your own research on certain things, which means that a good example, and this, of course, is just my opinion, someone who is demonically possessed would love sucking down fish, but they never research where this fish come from or whether or not how much mercury is in this fish, and then they get sick with, let's say, mercury poison. Versus somebody who is not demonically possessed, we're gonna say, I'm curious to know, where does this fish come from? Where they harvest this fish at? I love this fish so much. I'm curious to learn about this fish. So I'm saying all that to say, even in alcohol or anything, you love wine, you love Snickers, you love oatmeal, I mean, hell, it could be a good thing. You love running 3 to 7 times a day or a week. Somebody who is under demonic possession, they can't think for themselves. So they're just going to be doing it. Oh, it's good. I love it. I've been doing it for years. I'm going to keep doing it. Keep doing it. Oh, I love running it. Oh, I love it. It's like fun. They're going to keep doing it. And then when something bad happens, they're going to look back and say, damn, I never knew that wine could do this to you. I never knew that running could do this to you. I never knew, because all this shit is bad for you. Running could fuck up your joints and shit. But someone who is not under any type of spiritual control or any type of spiritual attachments, like I said, you're always curious to know and do your research. What is this? What is this? What is? And so the same thing with that, going into wine, y'all, like if I'm gonna drink or eat something, let's not just talk about wine. If I want to eat or drink something, I'm gonna research where it comes from. And then I'm going to research what that area is known for. I mean, that's just me, right? And I think that's a lot of people that, uses their brain. But one thing about it is that a lot of wines have pesticides in it. And they actually found out that a lot of wine from California actually has, um, you know, pesticides in it, but it also has something from a weed thing called Roundup. And this chemical that's in a Roundup really fucks you up. And so this has been found in some of California wines. I'm not going to say all of them. I'm going to say some of them. And so there's people that have alleged while they were drinking these wines, or only wines from California, that they've gotten headaches. They've had the worst hangovers. They've had dizzy spells out of the blue. They've had just bad issues. They've noticed that their blood pressure got worse or whatever. They never had high blood pressure. Now they have high blood pressure. So with that being said, I'm like, that information is shared. And then instead of people researching that, they're just like, oh well. Or they're like, well, I mean, but why would they allow that to be in the wine? It's like, girl, fuck all that. Do your research and then decide if you're gonna keep buying that wine or not. Bitch, why are you sitting here? If you're not under demonic possession, why are you sitting here fighting and disputing with me about information that anybody could access? Just look up what is in the shit that you're eating or consuming, like I do. But once again, instead of that, when they're under demonic possession, they'll think of ways around it. Well, I'm still going to consume California wine. I'm just going to get organic. Organics still have pesticides in it. It may not have higher levels of pesticides in it. And I always tell people this. Organic fruits and vegetables still have some traces of pesticides in them because a lot of organic foods are still processed in warehouses that have non-organic foods and or on shipment trucks with non-organic foods. So somebody with common sense who have the ability to think is going to say, I'm still going to use my precaution with organic food as I would non-organic food. Non-organic food have higher amount of chemicals, but not organic food still has them. That's why the best food is to grow your own damn food. But instead, they would sit here and fight with you and say, so what is good and what is not good? But why get upset about that? Just do your research, babe. Just do your research. Just type it in. Hell, even going into buying almonds, people say, oh, I can't have peanuts. It will tell you on the package, this may have traces of peanuts because it's produced or packaged at a facility with other peanuts. And we know that accidents happen. So it's like, why not do better if you're not under a demonic possession or any type of demonic influences? And when we say demonic influences, we mean something that want to keep you and destroy you. Why not just say, let me do my research on wines from other parts of the world? Because they have wine that come directly from Italy. They have wine that come directly from France. They have wine that come directly from Mexico. Like they have places that have wine that comes from Texas, that come from other states and other places. Why not do your research on who produces the cleanest wine and go buy that wine and test it out? Instead of throwing a hissy fit, and not saying that the people I know do have had hissy fits, I'm just throwing out that, but throwing a hissy fit about, oh my God, I really gotta stop doing that. Oh, you don't gotta stop doing anything, baby. But when shit start going on, don't cry about it. Just like nobody told me I had to stop eating beef. Nobody told me I had to stop consuming that yellow cake, that white cake with the buttercream icing. Okay? It's just, bitch, when you know better, you do better. You realize, girl, is this really helping me? Because once again, you by yourself, you live by yourself, girl. Nobody has the ability to make you upset or angry. And I don't care nobody say. Nobody has the ability. I'm so stressed out. I need a glass of wine. No, bitch. It sounds like you need to reevaluate and change people that are in your fucking life. And if it's your job that stress you the fuck out, get the fuck out. Hello? Stress is normal, but when you're extremely stressed out to where now you gotta drink or do drugs to relax, that's a problem, babe. Because we all have stressful moments. So I want to leave y'all with that. When we know better, we do better. If we're going to be tapping into Holy Spirits, if we're going to be tapping into spirits that are higher up, ask these spirits to show the light to you, to give you the knowledge and wisdoms to better your life. And watch what happens. You start realizing, damn, I don't have a taste for that no more. Versus, oh my God, it's been a week since I bought a pack of cigarettes. Let me go buy a pack now. That taste is going to fall away. And I said, honey, okay. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Isn't it Roundup? Yes, honey. Yes, honey. Yeah, Britney Spears is possessed, honey. Well, Britney Spears is what I call schizophrenic. I'll be willing to say that Britney Spears have something called trauma-induced schizophrenia. I'm willing to say that Britney Spears have something called trauma-induced schizophrenia, which is real. When your central nervous system is overworked or overstimulated, which can be caused by trauma and or experiences that really break you. When they say heartbreak, girl, we're not talking about puppy love, and we're not talking about little experiences where you're just like, oh my God. We're talking about broken down to where you don't want to eat, sleep, or see nobody forever. You're saying fuck all people. That shit is so overstimulating and damaging to your central nervous system that you could start to have some psychological things going with you. And trust when I tell you that, it's a very serious thing. I know several people who have trauma-induced schizophrenia. I know several people that have trauma-induced bipolarism. I know a lot of people that have trauma-induced depression. Hello? Britney Spears have trauma-induced schizophrenia. And I'm willing to stand on that. We're going to say allegedly Britney Spears has trauma-induced schizophrenia. But for my spiritual T, I'm saying schizophrenia and something with personality disorder, some underlying personality disorder. But I do feel like the personality disorder was something that was put on her. in a sense of she was always in this fight or flight experience. But that's a true story that I want to come out. The true story behind Britney Spears. The true story behind Britney Spears, and how does the world of Britney Spears and Aries Spears collide? Ow! Come on in here. See, I'm talking, but I'm not talking. See, how is, like, I need y'all to understand that there's a lot with a lot that don't be discussed. And I'm going to leave that there. You know who else I want to come out to? Is her name Amber Riley? It came up before. Is it Amber Riley? Maybe we do another video on that because I really got to go. Amber Riley, Naya Rivera's friend. I need her to come out and speak. I need her to come out and speak. I need her to come out and speak on some energies. And that's all I'm going to say. Is it Amber Riley? She, the one, the beautiful, plus size black woman with the beautiful voice. I need her to come out and speak. I know the healing needs to take place. I know the healing is a little bit underway, but they need to come out and speak. But going into Britney Spears, I need that story to come out. Can we have a biopic of Britney Spears? See, they're not gonna give it to us. See, you notice that they're not giving. Where's the biopic of Janet Jackson? Is there a biopic of Janet Jackson coming out, honey? Also, we got a biopic of Aretha Franklin before we got a biopic of Auntie Patty. We got a biopic of Toni Braxton before we got a biopic of Auntie Patty LaBelle. Can we get a biopic on this Diana Ross? Because I feel like there's some shit in these closets that need to come out. Can we have a Diana Ross biopic? Can we have a Janet Jackson? The closets are a little too stuffed. And we need to know what's in these closets. Because, see, they're ready to come out with a biopic when they're ready to tell the truth. Toni Braxton had to clear out and tell her truth. But like I said, where is the... Whitney Houston had a biopic too. Where's the biopic of Auntie Patty LaBelle? Diana Ross. Is there a biopic of Diana Ross? Don't you tell me Mahogany was a biopic of fucking Diana Ross. Where's the biopic? Where's the biography? Where's the story of? She's not ready for the truth to come out. That's why we don't have a biopic of Jay-Z. We don't have a biopic of P. Diddy. We don't have a biopic of all these alleged talented powerhouse people. Hell, where's the biopic on 50 Cent? See, these things are questionable. Where's the biopic? I mean, we got a little bit of a biopic of Tupac, but I don't think that was his story to be. I don't think he told the story. I think people told the story for him, but that's not my business. But anyway, let me go. Let me go, honey. We need Britney Spears to come out. We need this story of Britney Spears. And the firing of certain people and the letting go of certain people too. Can we get a biopic of that? Can we get a storyline of Britney and Lynn Spears? Because, see, there's some fucked up shit going on. The story of Britney is in her little sister. Ow! See, we're not ready to go down that rabbit hole. The story of Britney Spears is in her sister. There's a lot of creepy shit that takes place. What did Dolce say? Things get real dark when you in this dark. Yeah, things get real messy and nasty when you are that light. Y'all think they be fucking and playing with these black folks the way they be playing with these black folks? Girl, they loved a cute little and it trickled down even into mainstream society where people are obsessed with blonde hair white girls. And they think they're just the nastiest things out there. Y'all think that's just an idea, or is that some type of conditioning? Hello? You think it's the Marilyn Monroe effect? Hello? I'm just talking. I'm just talking, honey. Kim Kardashian thought she wanted the Marilyn Monroe effect, but when she realized what she had to go through to get that effect, mama changed her motherfucking mind, which she should have. Hello? Okay? I don't blame you, bitch. You should have changed your motherfucking mind. When she realized what she had to go through to get the Marilyn Monroe effect, she changed her motherfucking mind. Which she should have, because they all do. They all get highlighted. Ooh, I want to be Marilyn Monroe, my favorite hoe. Like Megan Thee Stallion said, when Megan really saw the shit too, she said no, thank you. She said no, thank you, respectfully. Tina Snow is the ghetto version of Marilyn Monroe, by the way. Ow! See, y'all not ready for that type of. Ow! Y'all not ready for that type of. Y'all not ready for that type of connection, that type of reading. When Tina Snow came out, she wanted to talk about Marilyn Monroe. Tina Snow, Marilyn Monroe. Those are my favorite hoes. You see what I mean? And so, baby, there's a lot that needs to be talked about. But I don't think these conversations are ever going to be had because we want to focus on some bullshit. And that is, we want to focus on niggas and wigs, dykes on bikes, fags and hats. Non-binaries on top of Larrys. With capillaries. Queers that don't know how to steer. Hello? Can we talk about it? Asexuals, they ain't nothing more. Listen, let me stop. Listen, y'all, let me go. Bella's bugging me. She's ready to go out. She's ready to go see the world. She's ready to go feel this temperature. I know. I just told her that she's ready to go out. I know she's patting her mama down. She's like, girl, we ready to go. Bitch! Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me go, y'all. The Marilyn Monroe effect did they have to mount her nervy on them, necromancy style, some dark ass sorcery? No, not that. Not that. Maybe down the line we'll talk about that. Because that's something that Marilyn Monroe is an energy that, I'm familiar with. I have Marilyn Monroe. I have a Marilyn Monroe wallet here. I have Marilyn Monroe paintings. Of course, my sister loved Marilyn Monroe. She had a Marilyn Monroe bed set. And so that energy has always showed up, in my life, even going into how I manifested before. It was very similar to the Marilyn Monroe initial effect. We're going to say there's processes to it. And so we're going to say in the first phase, you start to see what you want to see. When you get into the second phase of this, or we're going to say the intermedium, there starts to be a lot of weird shit. Marilyn Monroe underwent a lot of rituals and ceremonies. Marilyn Monroe went through a lot of mental and physical abuse and a lot of humiliating things that could be deemed disgraceful and tasteless was done to Marilyn Monroe. And we see this in a lot of young female entertainers. We see this in their tea. Like, I mean, if you look at, like I say, the Britney Spears story, and you go even into the Paris Hilton story that nobody even talk about, because the energy of Marilyn Monroe has been mounted on a lot of people, especially if you are, we're going to say light and bright. And so this effect, like I said, there was just a lot of stuff that went on. And of course, all this is alleged to proven otherwise. This is what I got spiritually. Okay? This is what I got spiritually. So like I said, there's just a lot of things that went down that had happened. And ultimately, She, met her demise. And, like I said, I want to get into that. I want to get into, I want to get into that. We also have something called the Aaliyah effect. And the Leah effect is a lesser effect than Marilyn, because Marilyn was more, behind the scenes, which, is at the top of the pyramid when it comes to certain things. And Aaliyah was more so up front. And so there was only so much that could be done. There was things done privately behind the scenes. And I do feel like a lot of people that we like are a part of it. And I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. I've seen celebrities in a different light since I first start tapping into the energies of celebrities, whether we did public readings or private readings, and getting the energetic readings when we tapped into Lisa Lefi Lopez and Natia. Um, um, Me seeing or having a spiritual interpretation of just how fucked up these celebrities are. And we're not talking about all of them, because some of these people are victim of these abuses. But the idea that there's people that we love, that we care about, and I'm not going to throw anybody's name out there, but we care about and we love, and just for the sake of, because now they're out of the ghetto, just for the sake of now, because they have all the money that they ever wanted, they have mistreated. And if they haven't personally mistreated, they witnessed the mistreating of other people. And they sat back and they watched it. And then some of these people have come out, and that's what I said the most fucked up part to me is they've come out and they made it seem like they're a Captain Save-A-Ho now. The shit you witnessed in 1999, why didn't you come out and talk about that? You were afraid of what? You could have went in and hid, because nobody in the industry is connected to you no more. And they have not been connected to you since 2000 and motherfucking 10. Why have you not come out and talk about these things? You could have exposed a lot of stuff with a lot of people. You could have gave names. You could have took the victims to go file police reports. But you didn't. And now, in the past 20 years, you want to come out as a and these are the ones that are speaking, because some of them are not speaking. They're trying to come across as they're just these loving ass people and loving light, and God showed me and God told me and God this and God that. You're a fucking lie. I'm willing to stand on my spiritual opinions too. You knew what happened. You saw what happened. You know what happened to Whitney Houston. You know what happened to Amy Winehouse. You know what happened to these people. And if you didn't see it firsthand, you heard about it. And you just said, well, better them than me. Well, that's not my business. And I said this even for people I love. Honey, I love Auntie Patty, because this is a good-hearted person. Mama is a good-hearted person because she have saved people. But on the flip side of it, Auntie have seen some things that Auntie choose not to talk about. And it could be, and I'm not judging her for that, because she's an older woman, so she's experienced things more harsh than I have. So I'm not judging her on not wanting to expose people, because of course she don't want to be problematic. But even anonymously, phone calls could have been made. Even anonymously, things could have been done. And of course, certain energies also being victim of the perversion of the industry. Okay? So I'm gonna leave that with that, honey. And y'all stay positive, honey. Okay? Meditate. Ground yourself. Ooh, that feels good to stretch, honey. Okay? There was sacrifice to Marilyn Monroe. Well, the case of Marilyn Monroe, she knew too much. The case of Marilyn Monroe, she had access to a lot of stuff. People were coming to her and they were telling her information. And even some of these people were having conversation with her when they were drunk, when they were high. And she knew it. And so, of course, she wasn't opening up her mouth. Marilyn Monroe wasn't going around telling people, and hey, who? She wasn't even telling some of her girlfriends what was going on. She was really keeping this stuff to herself. And as I said, I learned a lot from the Marilyn Monroe effect. When you are having encounters with certain people, you don't expose, you don't talk about, you don't even tell, you don't even share with your friends. You keep that shit to yourself. Now, when it's a serious situation like this is my man, and I want you to be my man, yes. But when it comes to getting money and stuff, honey, and elevating, no, you don't share those things with people. And so, with that being said, she wasn't talking, but people openly, because people started speculating certain things about certain people. And like I said, we're not going to get into that. But they were speculating about certain people, and these people had power, and they were afraid, and they were like, "So who would know about this?" Well, I don't think I told anybody, except for maybe, and of course, Marilyn had a nickname, and but maybe blank, 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 and they're like, "What?" And so now some people wanted to get close to her to see if she was gonna say something about it. Yeah, I met with John Jacob uh the other day, and yeah, he told me ABCDG. She didn't say shit. So they would ask, "Hey, do you know who?" No, I don't know. I probably worked with him on the set. Yeah, I was supposed to be auditioning for one of the roles, and ended up not happening. Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, I seen him at Crossing. Blah blah blah. Oh, so you never had a one-on-one session? No, I never did. And she did. She did, honey. They all wanted a piece of Marilyn, honey. Hello, they all wanted a piece of Marilyn, honey. And so, because some people were set out to do certain things, honey, they had to complete what they were set out to do. And like I said, that's the downfall, girl. You don't even gotta expose people. The fact that you know a lot, people will start to figure out that you're the one that leaked the shit out. Like, well, maybe it came for you. That's what I say, honey. Girl. Listen. I don't want to know about nothing. Don't tell me shit. Hey, I got a secret. Well, keep that damn secret to yourself, baby. Because if something come out and people start finding out, you gonna think I'm the one that said it. Now you coming for me? Oh no, ma'am. Don't tell me that secret. I don't know that secret, sir. Mm-mm. Keep that shit to yourself. I do not have to learn about you doing anything to anybody. Well, I do. It's a really nasty thing. Well, listen, that's your business, honey. No, 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 girl. Take that secret you to your grave. And Monroe, it was that they were telling her everything. She knew a lot of secrets, and people started. She became enemy number one. First, what did they say? First enemy. Anyway, let me go, y'all. Loving light, loving truth. Good chatting with you all. Heather Two Skies, Grand Madam, and whoever else is up in here. Okay, we'll definitely be talking again very, very soon. Okay. Loving light, loving truth. I was really supposed to be here for like 30 minutes or 40 minutes. It's so crazy how we end up being here for 2 fucking hours, man. 2 fucking hours, dude. Like, what the fuck is going on? I could just go and 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 go. Anyway, y'all, bye for now. Loving light. Good seeing y'all.